Now, this next topper here that I have, it's just one, it feels like every week, at least once a week, I come to the podium and I talk about this gun violence epidemic that we're seeing across the country and how our communities and families across America, yet again, have been devastated by tragic acts of gun violence. And it is not just devastating for me, I'm sure it's devastating for all of you and your families. It's devastating for this president, it's devastating for our administration, and to have to continue to do that over and over again. And so let me just lay out, sadly, what we have seen these last couple of days. 4 young people killed at a Sweet 16 party in Dadeville, Alabama. 2 killed and 4 others injured on Saturday night in a crowded public park in Louisville. A bright, young, loving 16-year-old kid, Ralph Yarl, shot in the head in Missouri after ringing the wrong doorbell. And we just learned a few hours ago, about 12 hours ago, about a young woman, 20-year-old woman in upstate New York, who was killed for turning down the wrong driveway. And these are just some of the tragedies that actually have made the headlines. As you saw from the president, he and the First Lady are grieving for those killed and the many others injured and fighting for their lives in the wake of this gun violence that we're seeing across the country. The president had the chance to speak on the phone with Ralph last night, in addition to talking about Ralph's success in high school, his hopes for the future, and wishing him a speedy recovery. The president committed to Ralph and his mom, as he has committed to so many other survivors, that he will continue to fight for gun safety reforms. That's because action on gun safety is what we owe. It is what we owe to those who have had their lives stolen from them, and it is what the American people want to see. Majority of the American people want to see us take action. Despite that, last week we saw many national Republican elected officials stand alongside NRA in a race to the bottom on dangerous laws that further erode gun safety. Though the proposals they're pushing take us in the wrong direction at a time when we're seeing gun violence surging, particularly gun deaths of our children. Now, this stat, as you've heard me say many times, the president put it in his statement recently, guns is the leading cause of death in our children. Guns is the leading cause of death in our children. So, as the president has said, he wants to work across the aisle in good faith on federal legislation that will save lives. It is within Congress's power to require safe storage of firearms, require background checks for all gun sales, eliminate gun manufacturers' immunity from liability, and ban assault weapons, and also high-capacity magazines. And he continues to believe this should happen without delay. This is something that they can do today if they chose.